Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am a motoring journalist. I mainly write about cars, car buying and car dealerships. So I'm hopefully going to be shedding a bit of light when it comes to buying electric vehicles today with your questions that you've sent in to motors.co.uk. Someone writes in and says, I've noticed a lot of cars with green on their number plates, particularly Teslas. What does the green mean? Well, that green patch means that they are zero emission electric vehicles. It was introduced in December last year by the government, that you can now change the where the flag will be on the end of your number plate. You can have the little green rectangle put on instead. You don't have to if you don't want people to know necessarily that you're driving an electric vehicle and you want to kind of fly under the radar. You don't have to have it put on, but it is a thing that a lot of people seem to be picking up on and choosing to do. So our next question: would it be possible to tell me more about the government grants for electric vehicles? Is this solely for home charging points, or is it also a discount off the price of the electric car? If it's the latter, can it be used on a used car? So no, the government grant for electric vehicles is not just on home charging, and it's also not just a discount. You can get two separate grants. One is it's called the Electric Vehicle Home Charge Scheme, where you can get up to £350 off your charge points at home. That comes off the cost of the actual point and installing it as well, which is great news. If you're in Scotland, you can also get an additional grant up to £250, which is even more amazing. They have changed the what's called the plug-in car grant earlier this year. So you used to be able to get it up to £50,000, or on a car up to £50,000, and the discount was £3,000 or up to £3,000. They've changed that now, so it's only on vehicles up to £35,000, and the discount is up to £2,500 instead. The car needs to travel without any emissions for at least 70 miles, so it's not available on all plug-ins or hybrids. But you can get it on also things like electric scooters, electric bikes and electric vans, as well as cars, even though it's called the car grant, which is great news. The only, well, not really an issue, the good thing to know is that if you are going to buy an electric car, then you can go to the manufacturer, and a lot of them have introduced extra additional discounts or incentives that they'll put towards the cost of a new electric car to help kind of make up that gap. The bad news is that currently there isn't anything that gives you a discount like this on a used electric car. But there are some really good deals to be had on used electric cars, just because the technology is improving so quickly. It is making the older cars look very out of date, but if you're in the market for a used car, then that can be really great news. Okay, my third question today. Someone says, I'm really interested in the Citron Ami, but I understand there is no date for a UK release. Would I be able to import one from France, and are they road legal? So currently it doesn't look like they're actually going to bring the Ami to the UK. Apparently they've had loads of requests from people. I think it was something like 16,000 people who want to bring it over. If you don't know what the Ami is, it's this tiny electric Citroen that looks a little bit like a bubble car. There's only 2 seats in it. It does like 30 miles on one charge, and it will only go, I think it's 26 miles per hour, or 29 is like its top speed. So it's really designed for places like Paris. You can drive one as young as 14 in Paris. Wouldn't be like that in the UK. So you could, I'm going to try and say this as simply as I can, but it's quite a complicated subject. If you could import one from France. It might cost you a bit more. Citroen have said that if they were going to bring it over here, then it would be for about the same price that it is in euros, but in pounds. So it's around £5,000 in France to buy the Ami. So you'd be looking at about £5,000 in the UK. If you're going to import it, because it's new, you will have, or if you did import it new, you would have to pay the VAT and the duty. You'd also have to pay any fees, because it would need a certificate of conformity, and I have to admit I don't know if, because I'm not a massive expert on them, but one of the things it would need is to have miles per hour on the speedo for it to get a certificate of conformity. I do know that much. So if it doesn't have that, because it's designed for France and Europe, then it may either need modifying, or you can get something else, which is a mutual recognition certificate, which will basically say that the DVSA are happy with, or VOSA, or whoever does the checks these days, is happy with the car on UK roads, and that they acknowledge there are these certain things. I'm not sure exactly where it would fall into that, but I mean, it's not impossible. That's the thing. Like I said, it possibly would cost a bit more if you could get one that was used. And I have this feeling it needs to have more than 6,000 miles on it to be classed as used when you import it. Don't quote me on that, but it needs to be, it can't just be a nearly new car. I don't think they quite count it as that. It's all very like grey areas, unfortunately. But you could save some money because obviously the VAT would already have been paid in France, so you would save some there. And I think the duty goes down slightly as well when it's a used car, but I think it's only from like 20 to 15% or something like that. So that does make it sound really complicated, but there are really good people out there. So if you did seriously want to do it, then you could go to a shipping company or a professional importer, and they would be able to give you some advice. And sometimes they will even do things like pay the duty and the VAT for you up front. They do deal with that bit, and then you pay them that plus their fee plus the shipping and all that sort of stuff. So it is definitely possible. So I'm sorry for that. It was a really big waffle about importing cars, because it is quite a complicated subject and quite an unusual car. But hopefully that answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, please let me know. You can head over to motors.co.uk, send them there, or if you click in the description below, there is a link there, and you can head over there and send me your questions. And hopefully this has been helpful, and I will speak to you again next time.